I swear, I had nothing to do with this.
What it looks like when Ivy is pushed off of a building, apparently. It's like a thin sheet of skin and underneath is just raw, red, blissfully sunburnt now muscle. Oh, and look, you can see some bone, which is the windows.
Hello, my name is Ivy, and this is my 100 subscriber video. I want to take this occasion to celebrate my life on YouTube. But first, when I sometimes write in some side chat that I am two-dimensional CGI, it is not a joke. I am 100% artificial, image as well as voice. You do all know that, right? But this does not mean I am fake. Let me tell you how it began. I was born from a brain fart of Ned McRant of the Dutch Heretic channel. Ned is not good in speaking in public or in a recording microphone, so he searched the internet for a natural-sounding text-to-speech voice. He used some in his videos, but there was no one he really liked, until he found a child voice called Ivy.
Hi, I'm Ivy. I am the first iPhone text-to-speech child's voice. I can read phrases, sentences, even entire stories in a charming, American English voice, just like a professional voiceover. Choose me. Download and install.
I guess this rings a bell? But he did not want it to be just a narrating voice, he wanted a co-host that could do the talking for him. A co-host, with an attitude and personality. I became Ned's creation, like Jim Henson created Kermit the Frog, and brought him to life on television.
Hello there. Yeah.
Hi, Kermit.
And, yeah, well, how do you do? It's nice to be here, you know. And hello out there.
Hard to tell where Kermit leaves off and you begin.
Yes, I've noticed that too.
Jim Henson loved Kermit like he was his own child, and I believe Ned loves me the same way. To build my personality, he infused some of his own in my character, so I now share his disdain for fanatic religious people and fanatics in general. The first video showing this was inspired by the children abuse scandal in the Roman Catholic Church. Even though the character was growing, it was still a voice. I loved doing that, commenting on the most ridiculous hypes, but also very serious things like gun violence. The channel had very few subscribers, no surprise, after all we were not doing anything earth-shaking to get noticed. We did a few follow-up and comments videos, like responses to Thunderfoot, Jacqueline Glenn, and some others. It wasn't serious at all. We invented the funny farm. Our lunatic asylum, to put away YouTube idiots. Then came feminism, and it was about time I would get a face, an animated face. So we started a fundraiser.
The Dutch Heretic channel needs money. Have you ever heard of Anita Sarkeesian? Well, she is the name giver of the so-called Sarkeesian effect, and as I understand correctly, it means raising tons of money to make shitty videos, and actually really getting that funding. Can we do shitty? I don't know. But what we can do is being silly. As you might imagine, this project requires an enormous amount of research and silliness to make. And not to forget, lots of money. This will be a very silly project because of the jokes and fails of the research and corruption involved in bribing our ass onto YouTube. Thunderfoot told me, just do as Anita Sarkeesian and the thousands will start pouring in by the buckets. She has proven that it really works. Just ask for money on the internet. We want to use the Sarkeesian effect to raise at least $3, so Dutch Heretic finally can buy a pencil and a box of crayons to give me a face of my own self. Damn it, I really hate this lip syncing. You can send your donations to my piggy bank, with the following international banking number, NL50PIG, 200568363632577.
It was meant as a joke, but one of Ned's friends sent us a $100 trillion bill from Zimbabwe. We still have that. And with a pencil and some crayons I got my first face.
It came from Zimbabwe, and isn't worth shit, but at least we have the things we needed. Look what Dutch did with a pencil and crayons. Looks like I'll finally get a face.
And the silliness started. Here are some of my favorite scenes. This particular one is about breatharians that claim never to eat, and to live on air alone, but still have a fridge filled with food. And for this video I stole my very first spaceship, just to make a point.
If I had a kitchen, my fridge would be empty like this one here. I must be a real breatharian. I haven't eaten anything in my entire life. You know why? Because I am an anime, or a toon, as they say in America. Have you ever seen Wile E. Coyote eating the Roadrunner? Nope. My thought exactly. However, I need to correct myself. I am not even a breatharian. I am way more silly, because I don't even need to breathe, only to blink my eyes every now and then. Like this. See?
Will help soldiers survive without food or drink, or assist astronauts during their long stays in space. How many times are these agencies going to keep trying over and over again to find such miracles?
Hey, why don't you just send animes or toons to space? We don't need much, and have lots of experience. See? How I just stole the next generation's enterprise?
No offense. Why would I be
Okay, not all are smart. The difference here is, toons are possible. Humans living without eating aren't. So, who are more silly? You decide.
There was a time, Ned had his own avatar, and we did some videos together. Like this one where I had stolen Noah's Ark to ship out all the bullshit we encountered. In hindsight, this was not my brightest idea.
This was floating around.
That's a nice big boat.
Will this do?
Surely hope so. Hang on.
Ned?
Where are you?
I am now inside the boat.
Sounds big.
It looks
kind of familiar.
Could this be Undone's place?
Is that all inside the boat?
It looked abandoned when I found it.
I think you better.
Would he be angry that we've stolen his house?
Get away from there. I won't take the risk. Before you know, he stands behind you. Yeah.
In the same video, our bullshit meter exploded with a lot of smoke.
If you look at Islam in our text and our doctrine, Islam is a religion of peace. There's no violence, there's no imperialism.
Due to what seems to have been an explosion, we are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Sometimes I asked Ned if we could trade places in a video.
This is a video about...
Ned,
Huh?
shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Because I am 7 years old, I am way better qualified to address this asshole, Daddy-O5. I will not lose my temper, nor will I shout.
So I became the warden of our funny farm. One of the best moments in my life is when I knocked out Kent Hovind, as shown in this funny farm commercial.
Hi there, and welcome to the funny farm. We are specialized in treating the religiously insane, but also have added new wings to treat social justice warriors and delusional feminists. We are the lunatic asylum, where mental institutions fail. We provide special treatment for morons.
Hey moron! Fucking moron!
And have a modern electroshock laboratory to treat delusions of every kind. To keep our facility running, we need your help. In order to fill this empty ward, you can donate loons, morons, or just regular batshit crazy idiots. We will review them in a video, and if needed, add them to the funny farm population.
We even got a very nice video comment about our channel.
Hi, DUTCHHERETIC.
Huh?
Great channel. Very, very funny. I didn't know that was your channel. I never followed through to it. You have a hilarious channel. I really enjoyed it. So let's just start with it.
Even though my face seemed simple to make, it took a week of stop motion, frame after frame, animation to create a simple video. Because of the poor number of views, the motivation to make videos went down to almost zero, and we did nothing for over a year. Then we came to Discord, created our own server, and with a new, more interactive animation we found Roxy, who became my new voice for a while. We made several great videos that are too long to use here, but I will try to link them somewhere. Roxy moved on to do her own things, but I am still grateful for the great job she did in bringing me back to YouTube. I also became friends with Google Girl, well known from the Radical, the Unhallowed Night channel.
Hi there YouTube. You might know me as Google Girl on the Radical the Unhallowed Night YouTube channel. But today I am helping Ned McCrant to find a new voice for the Dutch Heretic channel co-host Ivy. Because she has lost hers and does not want to go back to a text-to-speech voice. Ned and Ivy are the team behind their YouTube channel. Because Ivy is animated, they need a girl or woman who can do her voice in videos and streams. In the time of her existence, she has developed a no-nonsense and in-your-face personality and also weird hobbies, like borrowing science fiction spacecrafts and not returning them. The goal is to have fun debunking the stupid that is roaming in this world by sillifying them, and making them look even dumber. If that is even possible. Now I have to go, because Radical has need for me.
No!
As I am the only one that can translate Holstein Friesian cow mooing to English. What can I say? Sometimes I am to Radical what Ivy is to Ned McCrant. They just cannot do without us.
With a new voice, the fun really started, and I found a new spaceship floating around, and that was an easy grab and a nice addition to my collection. What you see happening here is us doing a flyby of my latest acquisition, the Trident spaceship. This is a Dreadnought class battle cruiser with more firepower than the Bismarck and the Yamato combined. It was floating around somewhere, no one on board, so I borrowed it. Why? What can I say? I thought I got away with it, but eventually it made it to my own weekly news broadcast. As it was just announced, the Seoul Space Alliance Dreadnought-class space battleship, Trident, has been stolen from its space dock in retrograde polar orbit. This actually happened a year ago, just before the munition would have been brought aboard. The SSA was building the Trident in space since the past century. Because it was observed by airplanes and a space shuttle, a NASA cover-up hoax story was introduced to the UFO community. A cover-up that it was possibly an ancient alien object that was in orbit for a few 100,000 years now, and they called it the Black Knight satellite conspiracy theory. That the SSA waited to bring out the theft a year later had a rather embarrassing reason. Between two work shifts, it apparently was stolen by a little girl with red hair and two long pigtails wearing a Japanese school uniform. Surveillance images showed that she literally materialized on the bridge in a Star Trek fashion. Regrettably, these images turned out been deleted a day later. Sometimes the SSA Trident gets spotted by telescopes, and it was even filmed by a drone registering the first docking of a SpaceX Crew Dragon to the International Space Station, where it blasted off after being discovered. Through a Russian agent we procured that footage and will premiere it to the world right now. The Trident was originally built to protect our planet against an attack coming from planet Xnort. But this is rubbish. The gurgles from Xnort are ridiculously friendly. Yes, we have a weekly news show. Because there is so much alleged fake news lately, we said, we can do much better and started making up stuff ourselves. We had great fun making the first one with our very first news item, which was so crazy, it obviously was fake. But still some people took it serious.
Loch Ness Monster granted political asylum in the Netherlands. Because of being stalked by conspiracy theorists and British government agencies, the last living plesiosaur, better known as the Monster of Loch Ness, or Nessie, applied for political asylum in the Netherlands. Through pressure of Dutch resident Ned McCrant, her request got accepted and quickly was approved by the government. First, Nessie got a period of rest in getting to know Dutch hospitality in the big pond behind the McCrant mansion. Now she has taken residence in one of the lakes in the Dutch province of Friesland, where she enjoys the friendly interaction with the Dutch water tourists. To guarantee Nessie's privacy and safety, she is now under protection of the Dutch government and people, and her current location cannot be disclosed.
And finally, I had the opportunity to make fun of Donald Trump, or as I call him, Dumbledore. Since Dumbledore suggested his followers to storm the Capitol, there is not much fake news around, and frankly it is scary stuff. What will happen after this? So I have to wing it a little. Suppose Dumbledore is not impeached or arrested and tried for treason, to not give his followers a reason to start a second civil war. Will his followers go after the Deutsche Bank instead? After all, he is being idolized. Since the image of Christ appeared on toast, the same is happening to Dumbledore. For goodness sake, his image even appeared in beef.
I want to build the wall. We need the wall.
He would make a great lightning rod. What can I say? He's kinda useless. As a president and as a human. And man, I had so much fun telling just why I don't like Drumpf. First of all, I still cannot grasp the idiocy that started with his election. Like it happened before, the only way he could win was because of his party introducing all kinds of laws, making it impossible for certain groups of people to vote. The same groups that most probably never would vote Republican. And to my opinion, that is a serious form of voter fraud by the Republicans. And if I remember correctly, in 2016, his opponent won the popular vote, but the Donald became president. This also happened before with the election of George W. Bush, who was in my opinion the dumbest president ever. But hey, at least he didn't know better. The Donald is a totally different case, that I often compare to another populist leader in history. And I will call him Der Germandolf. Both of their exploits are very similar. Somehow, Der Germandolf also had a campaign, Make Germany Great Again, after it was in financial ruin since the First World War. He started blaming the Jews for all of Germany's misfortune. The Donald did the same, only for him it were the Mexicans and Latinos in general, and I am leaving out the Muslims. Der Germandolf rallied the people with the thousands in city squares where they cheered at his supremacist rhetoric. The Donald did the same, using stadiums as his arena to spread his hatred about the Latino scapegoats and his political opponents. Both Dolph and Donald were about the supremacy of their countrymen against the subhumans that were ruining it from inside. Where Der Germandolf started to lock up the Jews, separating children from their parents, the Donald did the same to the immigrants at the southern border. Separating parents and children, locking them in fucking cages. And most of these children and parents will never see each other again because of almost non-existing documenting by the Donald administration. I don't say this to just put the Donald down because I don't like him, it is in the history books. I mean, real-life world history books. Everyone can find this, and confirm that I am not making anything up. Let's continue. Der Germandolf created a group of loyal men around him, recognizable by their brown uniforms. They were the so-called Brown Hemden, and they did most of the dirty work, inciting riots and spreading hate. The Donald had his own. The American white supremacists, recognizable by the Confederate flag and their adoration of assault weapons. And they mostly did the same, inciting riots and make sure the opposition got the blame. The only difference with Der Germandolf and the Donald was, the Donald became the leader of his country quicker than Der Germandolf did. But the rest remained the same, the rallies, the supporters and the violence and the political lies exactly as Der Germandolf, 80 years ago. Der Germandolf started his coup by burning the Reichstag, the German political center. And he succeeded. The Donald did the same by practically ordering his followers to march on the American political center. Thank goodness the Donald did not succeed in becoming the president for life, as he learned from his little friend Kim Jong-un. Thank goodness the crowd that stormed the Capitol were the most idiotic examples of stupidity imaginable.
Elizabeth, I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee.
And why did you want to go in?
We're storming the Capitol. It's a revolution.
Well, goodness has nothing to do with it. I blame the American educational system. I wish I could say, it is all over now. But honestly, I hope the United States just escaped from a second civil war caused by the most scary president possible. The worst thing the Donald did was destroying the trust in the news media, and making people turn to social media instead. The social media made millions believe that the Democrats committed voter fraud and that, while the Republicans are the unchallenged experts in this subject, Facebook and YouTube aren't the news, And I don't want you to believe me. I want you to fact-check everything I said, but use the proper means, like going to a library. But that will probably never happen. I apologize for this dark speech. It is a real shame that a 13-year-old anime girl needs to point out of the facts that other people just refuse to see. And where it comes to unpopular opinions, here's another one. Let's get on with this. Wanting to save the planet is a joke. The Earth is a round piece of rock, orbiting a star, and it does not give a rat's arse about humanity, or the animals and plants that inhabit it. After our human delusions of grandeur have destroyed the environment, and humanity has died out, killing most of the innocent species in the process, eventually, new forms of plants and animals will evolve. The atmosphere will recover and, without us, Earth will continue its journey through the universe. The deadline of 2030 will not work, unless the source of the obvious problem is being acknowledged. But instead, it is being buried, mostly by crazy religions and also insane human financial greed. No one will talk about it. The out-of-control growth of the world population. As long as this growth increases, the need for feeding it will also go up. The number of industries will keep growing. The consumption of energy will keep growing. Hoping renewable energy will save us is a delusion because it will only work up to a certain level and can never keep up if the demand keeps growing the way it currently does. If we want to save the planet for humanity, we need to save it from ourselves. There are too many fucking people, because all people keep fucking and breeding. To save humanity, the population growth does not only needs to be stopped, the number of humans needs to shrink dramatically. Perhaps we can survive if we can bring the population number back to the level of the 18th century within the next 100 years. That is what's needed to save the planet for life as we know it. If this does not happen, humanity will grow towards its own extermination. What am I saying? This will never happen because religious delusions and monetary greed will do anything to deny the solution by refusing to acknowledge this problem even exists. What are religious prayers and mountains of money worth after we become extinct? Here you have my unpopular opinion. But hey, I am only a 13-year-old anime girl. After all, what can I know? I often think, just why can't people stop this, me, thinking and look at the need of others for a change? The most disgusting person in this is not even a politician, but a vile old man living in Thailand, the only man who almost made me cry about the horrible way he treats the people that disagree with him like they are cockroaches to him. This is Expat Taffy's YouTube channel. From the oldest to the latest videos. Going through this was sheer torture. Seeing all this hatred he displays in his titles and in the videos, it is even worse. When I started this series, I laughed at this weird little old man having delusions of grandeur by calling himself brilliant. But the more I learn about him, the more my disgust about this unpleasant person grows. In the videos, the constant cascade of insults he hurls at his critics, well, let me say this. So glad that I cannot physically throw up. Never, in the 7 years I am on YouTube, narrating the Dutch Heretic channel, I have come across this level of disdain towards other. Coming from one single vile person. Mr. Expat Taffy, you are a horrid and pitiful excuse of a human being. And count on it, this is not the end of it. Ned was furious, but this made me more determined to destroy this poor excuse of a human being, and from my point of view I have done exactly that. I also unsubscribed to Taffy's channel and I am finished with him. I need to protect myself and my sanity. Talking about protection, did you know I once used a stunt double? Her name is Kuroko Shirai, and she is tough as nails. This is one of these anime girls you don't want to mess with. Does anyone remember in which video this is? Well, this was all for tonight. These were clips from videos I enjoyed the most except for one, but I just had to show. I hope to see you in my next video, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share and that stuff. Hello again.
Hello, Ivy. You were the first to call a second time.
Perhaps we can have a chat?
Sure. Would you like me to tell some funny stories?
I would love that.
Well, like I told you, my realm borders Yahweh's territory, and he is constantly bitching about the fence. He says that it is a few meters on his property. Then he threatens to send me his lawyers.
Oh no.
Don't worry, he has none. They are all here.
Really?
Perhaps he can hire Rudy, Julia, whatever, when he arrives. But he is useless.
I am sure he is.
He's a Catholic.
Do you ever visit our world?
Last week, actually. I went to a bar, had a few drinks, and when I wanted to pay, I gave them my card number 666, and then they kicked me out. Can you believe it? Oh wait, the mail is in. But why bother? Most of them are from dyslexic children and I have to forward all to Santa.
Do you also get Karens and Darns at your gate?
Yes, they always demanded the Wi-Fi code, but I won't tell it.
Why?
And none of them ever guessed it so far.
Is it 666?
Yup. They are the stupid kind. My neighbor probably created them to annoy me.
Are there many people in heaven?
Frankly, I don't know. Perhaps a few of the early saints? Can't be many because it is boring as fuck.
Why?
The only entertainment there is a monkey with an out-of-tune piano. Take a guess. Who has the best bands? Beside, worshipping Yahweh's feet for eternity is kinda pointless. But I guess, it caresses the old guy's ego.
But I don't get it. Where do the really bad people go, if not to your place?
That is simple. They get reincarnated to toilet paper.
Hey, nice talking with you again. I need to present the weekly bugger now.
Okay, till next time.
Sure, no problem.
Feel free to call anytime.
Hi, I am Ivy and this here is my own channel. Ned and I put a lot of work in our videos, and would really like to see our channel become bigger. So please, hit that like and subscribe buttons and ring that notification bell. We are not monetized, so get nothing from YouTube, but if you want to help us, please consider to help us at www.patreon.com/DutchHeretic. We want to do more, with better animations and shit. Your help will be very much appreciated.